All right, today we'll continue with CCIE LAB requirement 1.14, which is about 3A authentication. Now let's look at the details below. First, the first requirement is to configure the IIS authentication server. The address of the authentication server is 10.2.252.11. The requirements are fairly straightforward, and when logging in, you must use the username provided by 3A. The ISE user and the password is CCE NFR4, which is the password required by the exam. Then it goes on to say, the shared key for the radius server is also CCE NF24. Now, moving on to the next part, this requirement specifies the port number for the ISE. What is the port number for the authentication server? 1645 for authentication and 1646 for accounting. Next, there are a few more requirements. This requirement says that we must configure it on SW211, meaning we need to configure it on this device, the one in the data center, and then fulfill the following requirements. The following requirements are for SSH, using radius to connect to the ISE server. So where is the ISE server? It's directly connected to this device, although that's not shown here. Basically, it's connected to this switch. So there are a few requirements mentioned below. This requirement is to make sure that on the console port does not require authentication. That is, for this console port, if you connect directly to the device using a console cable, no authentication is needed. Right? The specific requirement is as stated below. Let me see. Connecting to the console does not require authentication, but if it's a virtual user logging in remotely, then authentication is required. Right? So remote login requires authentication. Then you need to make sure that the ISE server, its name is ISE. The server's name is ISE, and it also needs to be added to the ISE group, meaning we specifically need to create a comprehensive list of these particular SE servers and then proceed to create a ICG. This is a custom name, by the way, which is quite important. Create a server group, name this, and then make absolutely sure that when logging in, and this is to ensure that both login and command execution use this group. The name of the group, it should be consistent, right? Name it this, SSH, this rather long name. And then, as mentioned later, for all of these, the device that communicates with SW201 is the server, meaning the server that communicates with it. What's important is the number of attempts, that is, to reduce this communication. This description is a bit awkward. In other words, if this communication fails, it needs to retransmit. Right? The retransmission time is twice the default value. Okay, now let's look at the configuration. For example, I picked a device and logged directly into SW211. After logging into 211, let's go over this configuration. First, 3A. three A, and then create this, enable 3A globally. All right, then this reduce server, when it retransmits, how many times should we set the number of retransmissions to? Change it to 6 times. Why 6? Because Cisco's default is 3 times. Right? So we need to set it to double the value. So we'll change it to 6 times. Let me see here. There's one more thing. A function. Set mine to 6. Then for the reduce server, there's one more thing to change. The default is twice the default value for the wait for reply time. The default value is 5 seconds, so if we double it, that's 10 seconds. Changing it to 10 seconds makes it a bit slow. The response speed is a little sluggish. All right, then create this Windows server and name it ISE according to the requirements. Let's pause for a short announcement. Friends, If you're currently preparing for this ITification exam, or if you've been studying for a while but don't feel your preparation is very efficient, this is something you shouldn't miss. Our team has been focused on its certification dumps for 16 years, doing one thing consistently: organizing the most up-to-date, most exam accurate, and easiest to use dumps to help candidates pass their exams more efficiently. Our dumps closely follow official exam updates. They are stable, highly accurate, and well aligned with real exam questions, allowing you to prepare with more confidence while spending less time. If you'd like to get the dumps for this exam and pass the certification faster, you can contact us directly via WhatsApp or YouTube private messages. We're happy to explain the latest update dates, dump stability, exam policies in different countries, as well as any current purchase discounts. Everything is clear and transparent before you decide. We also place great importance on payment security and privacy protection. The entire purchasing process is simple and secure, with no unnecessary data collection. Your personal information and privacy are fully protected. In addition, we provide 24/7 consultation and after-sales support. Whether you're just getting started or running into issues right before the exam, our support team will patiently and professionally help you analyze and solve problems. You're never preparing alone. Beyond this specific exam, our dumps cover almost all major IT certification tracks. If you plan to pursue other IT certifications in the future, feel free to reach out anytime. We'll give recommendations based on your goals. Radius 7 and, well, my electronic device here is responding somewhat slowly. ISE, right? This server is named ISE. Then add the IP address for it. Address, then RPv4. Assign it 10.2.252.11, which is also specified by the requirements, right? Then set its authentication port number. 1645. And what about the accounting port? 1646. All right, then next, please configure this NEO device. The key is also required here, right? CC exclamation mark, take a look. Then switch to interface and FR4. All right, buddy, you need to exit. After exiting, we'll configure this 3A group. 3A group. The group name is already specified as ISE, right? Then we'll add this 3A user, this server into the group. Add this radius server in. The name we just created is called IZ. Then 3A authentication. You really need to exit from here, as you are currently not in the correct view. Triple authentication, local authentication. This authentication means you don't need to create this one. The name is no authentication, which means it requires us to create this. That is, no, then a slash, no, then another slash, and then auth. What this truly means is that we have successfully created a comprehensive list of authentication methods, all associated with this particular and specific name. And as for the actual method itself, it is indeed this very one. And the method uses this line password, and the parameter at the end means no authentication is required. Right? Then accounting. Authorization. Just type this and later on 3A. Then it requires us to use this name. exec. If you don't know how to do it, you can just copy it directly from the exam question. If you type really slowly, like I do, just copy it from the exam question. It's just that this device is a bit laggy. You see, it's stuck and not responding. Please wait a moment. Then name it this, then group. The parameter after that is group. And this group, hey, the group we just created, IceEgg, right? Add this item to the group. Then let me just see, this is a authorization, and there's also authentication, which we haven't done yet. For this, the beginning part is the same. This part is the same, just copy and paste it. All right, then let's configure the console. This console 0. After entering, as for authentication, it means the console doesn't require authentication. Just configure this directly. No authentication. Then configure remote login and then exit. About 0 and 4, it means from 0 to 4, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 5, so it supports 5 sessions at the same time. And for authentication here, authentication method. Wait, it's not authentication, this is authorization. This is a bit tricky to type, so I'll just copy it directly. Right, so on this line, you apply this name, apply the authorization with this name, and after the user logs in, they are authorized through reduce. Only then can they enter the exec mode and get the command line prompt. Then you still need to configure this afterwards. Authentication. Authentication is also required. Okay, then configure this to allow it. Hey, just a moment, please. Transport input, SSH. Allow SSH. Both inbound and outbound need to be allowed. All right, that's all for this part. This is just to restrict the VTY line, meaning the virtual user line, to only allow SSH logins and not allow others like Telnet. That won't work, right? As for the authentication server, well, I won't verify it now. If you want to verify, just use another switch. Just SSH directly. IL. EC. Basically, if you want to use SSH to access 10.2.255.211, in my case, this device isn't connected to any other devices. It's not connected to this topology, so I can't log in for verification here. But after you finish the configuration, you'll be able to do it. You can use this command to verify. Just log into this IAC server. All right, if anyone wants to learn Cisco technologies or get information about Cisco exams, please send me a private message. You can also leave a comment below the video for technical discussions.